Gathanst. The highlights. No room for malpractice. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says the government is ready to defend the integrity of national examinations. Moses Kuria is back, but the Gatundu South Member of Parliament appears non-committal on who to back in the hotly contested presidential race. A despicable act of terror. Al-Shabaab gunmen abduct a health worker in Fino, Mandera County. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying with Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, the channel that gives you the most comprehensive coverage of news from Kenya and all over the world. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has reaffirmed that the government is prepared to oversee credible KCSE national examinations. The CS said his ministry will ensure integrity is maintained in the exams. The CS is cautioning teachers against aiding and abetting cheating, saying those found culpable will be prosecuted. Purity Museo with that report.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says all is set for this year's national examinations for the 2.1 million KCPE and KCSE candidates, allaying fears of possible delays of the exam papers' delivery to various exam centers.
I want to assure the nation that the examination has been set by our excellent teachers across the nation. The examination has taken into account the fact that the children were out of school for a while and they have had a short term. I have said many times that the examination is practical oriented, applied oriented in all capacities, and I think that the children are aware they should apply their knowledge, not just reading, and that until we open the first container, nobody will have seen that exam. So the exam has not leaked, and it's not fair to say it has leaked.
Magoha cautioning teachers, parents and students against falling prey to fraudsters claiming to have access to the exams before their release dates.
You know, even if somebody was to open it, the impact is actually to destroy the children. We have got everything that is required. So if you dare to open the exam, we shall know where you have opened it.
He vowed to ensure security to facilitate an effective and smooth examination period.
The government is going to ensure that exams going to those areas are thoroughly secured and students are secure as they take their exams. If a situation arises which requires that students should be shifted from one place to another, the government will be there to do that.
The CSO spoke in Mangu High School in Juja, Kiambu County, where he commissioned 2 CBC classrooms, at the same time urged private secondary school owners to start investing in new classrooms to be used in the implementation of the competence-based curriculum.
It is now time for private secondary schools in the country who intend to partake in the junior secondary schools to also budget and build their own classrooms.
Purity Museo, the...
And from education, Chama cha Kazi Party leader Moses Kuria has challenged both Azimio la Umoja Coalition and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance to first address the interests of the Mount Kenya region before asking for votes. Speaking during a Thanksgiving rally after a medical trip abroad, Kuria implored the Mount Kenya to stand with its leaders in championing for the interests of the region.
Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria has announced his return into national politics by refusing to endorse anyone for the presidency during a Thanksgiving ceremony in Thika. Kuria instead choosing to rally the mountain to demand its share of the much-needed national development.
Ati mimi nitangaze, sijui kama niko Azimio ama niko Kenya Kwanza. Mnataka nitangaze? Mnataka nitangaze? Mnataka nitangaze? Mnataka nitangaze? Mimi nimetangaza niko upande wa Mungu.
Flanked by NAK Kenya leader Martha Karua and TSP's Mwangi Kiunjuri, Kuria maintained that his Chama cha Kazi party will field candidates for various seats in the general elections. Together with Karua and Mwangi Kiunjuri, the Gatodo South lawmaker had been making inroads in Mount Kenya region in pursuit of what they termed as the unity of the region.
Tunaomba kura ya Murang'a, tunapeana bure. Tunaomba kura ya Kiambu 1.3 million, tunapeana bure. Tunaomba kura ya Nyeri 1700, tunapeana bure. Yani kama wafuasi wa Yesu waliambia Yesu wekelea, tuwekelewe saa hii kabla mwezi wa 8 ukuje msalimiane. Si walikuwa pamoja beleni? Si walikuwa pamoja? Watarudiana tu. Watarudiana tu. Sina wawekelea saa hii. Wawekelea tujue ya barabara, tujue ya mahospitali yetu, tujue ya kahawa, tujue ya majani chai.
Chagua mtu na sio chama. Wakati huu wengi sana wamewezwa na kazi. Wewe hujaenda kuuliza Jubilee ni kwa nini mjumbe wake hafanyi kazi. Huendi kuuliza Jubilee ni kwa nini hospitali haina dawa. Unauliza mwenye ulichagua.
Watu wakija kuelezea ati kiongozi fulani ndiye tunajua president, ati mlichagua kwa sababu yake, muaulize wewe ni nani?
Chama cha Kazi Party, NAK Kenya Party and TSP Party are expected to hold a joint conference next month to chart the way forward for the mountain electorate. Reporting from Thika Stadium, I'm Geshoke Washira.
ODM leader Raila Odinga says he has grand plans to revive the country's economy. Raila, who was speaking at a rally in Bamba, Kilifi, urged the youth to support his presidential bid, saying his government would support them in ventures that will make them economically independent. Raila, who has been out of the country for about a week, hit the campaign trail, promising change for Kenyans.
Raila Odinga is back on the campaign trail, taking the Azimio la Umoja message to Kilifi County on day one of his coastal tour. The ODM leader moved to downplay assertions that he is being fronted by the state to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Sasa wanaanza kusema ati Raila Odinga ni muradi. Ati muradi ya serikali. Muradi ya serikali. Ukiona Raila Amolo Odinga anaweza kuwa mradi ya mtu.
Odinga called on the coastal region to watch out for political merchants who are scheming to take advantage of the electorate to get ahead in the hotly contested poll.
Belani huko 2013 waliambia ati kila mtoto katika shule atakuwa na laptop. Sasa sema namna hiyo. Ndani ya miezi 6 kila mtoto katika shule atakuwa na laptop. Sawa? Sasa huyo mtoto ambaye alianza 2013 kama mpatie laptop, sasa anamaliza secondary. Akimaliza sasa anampatia wheelbarrow.
Odinga called on the youth in the country to be at the forefront in spreading the Azimio message.
Nataka vijana na nyote mwe tayari kwa wanajeshi wa baba. Mko tayari kwa mwanajeshi wa baba mpaka wewe uwe na bunduki na risasi. Bunduki ni kitambulisho, risasi ni kura.
Raila Odinga is promising all vulnerable Kenyans 6,000 shillings per month should he win the presidential race.
Hata kule India ambayo nimetoka juzi, wanafanya hiyo social protection. Wale jamaa ambao hawana mapato wanasaidiwa na serikali. Na mimi nimesema tutaanza hiyo jamii, kila jamii utapata kila mwezi shilingi 6,000 kutoka kwa serikali.
Sisi tukiingia huko State House na baba si wageni wala hatugongi hodi. Tutangia huko tumwambie baba watu wa Bamba wanataka maji na watu wa Mombasa watafanya kazi pamoja na watu wa Bamba ili tupate kuendelea.
Raila Odinga and the ODM party will be looking to charge their political base this weekend and cement their support ahead of the August poll.
Safari tuko Azimio, sivyo? Tuko wapi? Azimio. hapa ni ngome ya OD.
Huu ndiye mtetezi wa wale ambao hawana mashamba. Wakati huu sisi ambao hatukuwa tunampatia kura, kama tunakuja kushikana na yeye, ninyi mtamwacha? Si ninyi ndiye mtakuwa mstari wa mbele na sisi tufuate nyuma?
For Legends Edition from Kilifi County, I am Anburu.
This has nothing to do with politics, but I remember a song that mentions the place Bamba, and today I have actually seen the place. Safari ya Bamba ni Machero. Well, we continue with the news. Deputy President William Ruto has emphasized that they will not shy away from taking credit over what the Jubilee government has done. Ruto says those pushing the Azimio la Umoja movement have never voted for President Uhuru Kenyatta. The DP who led the Kenya Kwanza Alliance team in popularizing his presidential bid in Embu, Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties on Saturday said ODM leader Raila Odinga should stop hiding behind President Kenyatta, saying the president is not in the race.
The hunt for votes for the Kenya Kwanza Brigade in the Mount Kenya region intensified Saturday with tours in Embu, Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties. Deputy President William Ruto said he is perfectly in order to take credit for Jubilee accomplishment.
We are the ones who elected Uhuru Kenyatta, and we will take credit for everything Uhuru Kenyatta did and the Jubilee government, because it is us who elected Uhuru Kenyatta and formed that government.
While warning the residents not to give in to political coercion, the Kenya Kwanza team called their political competitors to independently seek the mandate to lead from the Kenyan people.
Musiharibu muda yenu mukifikiria ya kwamba mutajificha nyuma ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Nyinyi tokeni nyuma ya Uhuru Kenyatta, kujeni tushindane sisi na nyinyi.
Sisi tunasema tusipotoshwe. Hiyo Azimio hatuendi. Kule Ingo hakuna kitu cha Azimio.
Saa hii mbona rais wetu anataka kulazimisha sisi na nyinyi tupeleke kura kwa kitendawili? Tutakubali ama tutakataa?
Hawataweza kushurutisha sisi kuchagua rais kupitia kulazimisha wananchi. Si ni kweli?
The team drummed up support for their presidential bid, noting that they are confident they will win the elections.
Tafadhali mimi na waomba watu wa Embu, tusijaribu kucheza karata ya pata potea na maisha yetu kwa kuchagua mtu ambaye hana mpango.
Wakati utaingia ukiangalia hizo barabara umetaja za huku, tafadhali kumbuka maji.
Tumepeana bilioni 5 kwa budget ya Kenya. We want to subsidize the price of our fertilizer. And we want to tell them from Embu today, we are so serious in the fight against corruption that we want to strengthen our institutions, our National Police Service, to be able to have the resources and to have the means to fight corruption.
We want to ensure that the money that comes to county is increased, not tomorrow, not after elections, but this year, in this budget, in the next 2 months, ndio tuone kwamba hakuna unafiki.
Na wangapi wanasema kura ya Tharaka Nithi ni kura ya Kenya Kwanza? Hebu tuone.
Kamche Menza for the Legends Edition.
And from Tharaka Nithi, former East African Community and Regional Development Cabinet Secretary, Minister Aden Mohammed says he is best suited for the Mandera gubernatorial seat. Aden, who launched his gubernatorial bid on Saturday, said he will use his experience as an industry player to turn around the fortunes of Mandera County if elected in the August 9th polls.
Aden Mohammed has thrown his heart into the ring and will vie for Governor Mandera County. The former CS Minister of East African Community and Regional Development says he has all the answers to the problem facing the county.
I have had a lot of consultations with many people from Mandera, outside of Mandera, the president, and other colleagues. I saw that this is the only time, after having worked for myself, after having worked for private companies in Kenya, private companies in Europe and America, worked for the nation as a cabinet minister, I feel it is the time to take talent back home.
Adan, who chose to launch his bid in Nairobi, said he will use his extensive experience to better the lives of Mandera residents.
People of Mandera, a lot of things needs to be done, even though a lot has been done in the last few years. But more and more needs to be sorted out. There are issues around insecurity that will undermine everything that could possibly be done in Mandera County. We must fix that problem jointly with the national government to see how the communities can play their part in working with the national security agencies so that we can deal with the problems of insecurity in our county.
Meanwhile, former Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet has officially launched his bid for Elgeyo Marakwet gubernatorial seat. Boynet has vowed to seek lasting peace and security in the Kerio Valley.
Being heeded the call of the people to come help do a couple of things. One, champion the search for peace in Kerio Valley. Two, champion also the way in which our county can leverage the resources given to us by the Almighty God, because we have immense agricultural, touristic and mineral potential that is not being exploited to its potential. But I thought with the experience that I gathered in government, in national government, for the 38 years or so, I can be of help.
Elsewhere, a section of members and delegates of Orange Democratic Movement have raised concern over the management of the party affairs. The group accused the party of excluding and isolating members from Mount Kenya region.
Ambao iko Kasarani ama Nyayo Stadium hatukubaliani nayo. Notice yenye imepeanwa imeacha delegates wengi sana nje. Delegates ni hawa wako hapa na wamesemekana kati hawa watu wote wa Nyandarua 140 wale wataenda ni watu 6. Wakienda watu 6, hawa wengine wote wametengwa. Tunataka hawa watu wote wakuwe Nyayo Stadium.
Well, you are watching Kenya Broadcasting Corporation Channel 1, and this is the Legends Edition. My name is Kasavuli. We are taking a short break, and when we come back, we will have Fayaz Qureshi talking to Njeru Gavangu. Don't go away.
The government of Kenya adopted universal health coverage UHC as one of the big 4 priority agenda, with an aspiration that by 2022 all citizens will have access to quality healthcare services that they need without getting into financial hardships. Don't suffer in silence. Visit the nearest healthcare facility and access affordable healthcare services that are now offered under the universal health coverage benefit package delivered through NHIF. For those who can afford, please remember to pay the monthly contribution of 500 shillings. The government has put mechanisms for assisting those who cannot afford to pay. Register biometrically at the nearest NHIF office. Your family's health matters to us. NHIF. Leave no one behind.
Ili kupata wewe si wakale kama skiza tune kwenye simu yako, dial *811 *965#.
Wewe si wakale, usibaki pale pale. Akikujaza imani tele, utafika kwa kilele. Maana hata imekuwa mtu akiwa ndani ya Kristo amekuwa kiumbe kipya. Ya kale yamepita na tazama yamekuwa mapya.
Kupata wewe si wa kale, bonyeza *811 *965#. Kumbuka ni *811 *965#.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back. We start off after the break on a very, very somber note. Police in Mandera are pursuing 10 suspected Al-Shabaab militants who allegedly kidnapped 3 doctors working in Fino Sub-County Hospital in Mandera County. According to Ali Abdi Hassan, a doctor working at the hospital, 10 armed men entered the facility and forced the 3 into a waiting vehicle before driving off.
Residents in Mandera County are living in fear after suspected Al-Shabaab gunmen allegedly kidnapped 3 doctors working in Fino Sub-County Hospital. The 3 were forced into a waiting vehicle and it is believed they were taken to the neighboring Somalia.
Hao watu walikuwa watu 10 walivamia Fino Health Center jana usiku saa 1:30. Wale abduct madaktari 3. Lengo lao ilikuwa daktari moja, na hiyo daktari moja wameenda nao, wale 2 wamerudishwa. Sasa hivi tunaongea na nyinyi, niko Lotte police station, tunaandika statement. Tumeita wale madaktari 2, wameandika statement and I'm telling them back to Fino.
Jackson Kabu, a clinical officer in charge of the facility, was among those that were taken away by the assailants. 2 of his colleagues were later released by the suspects, but Kabu's whereabouts is not known yet. The 2 returned to the health center safely, recorded a statement at Lafay police station. The incident comes barely 2 weeks after the unknown gunmen planted an improvised explosive device which exploded on a passenger bus flying from Arabia to Mandera town, where 7 people died in the incident with several others sustaining serious injuries. Police have launched investigation into the matter in a bid to apprehend the suspects who are causing residents sleepless nights. Timothy Kipnusu for Legends Edition.
A mother of 4 in Gatundu North is appealing for financial aid to enable her take her son to India for treatment. The woman, Joanne Wambui, says she requires a sum of 2 million shillings to cater for the removal of a brain tumor alongside massive fluid that has been forming around parts of her son's head.
Unlike most children his age, 4-year-old Boniface Kamau spends most of his days crying in pain, owing to the brain tumor he has suffered since he was 10 days old. His mother, John Wambui, has had to endure countless trips to different hospitals which have not helped resolve the problem. Due to financial constraints she currently faces, Wambui a casual labor struggle with hospital bill to feed other 3 children.
Nilichukua mwendo wa kwenda mpaka huko, huyo mtoto akapigwa picha ya kichwa, nikaambia hiyo maji mahali iko kwa ubongo. Wakaniambia hatuwezi kukusaidia juu huyo mtoto hiyo maji imefika kwa ubongo. Tafuta pesa 2 million ndio upeleke mtoto India ndio afanye upasuaji.
His latest admission at Eldoret Hospital saw doctors recommend surgery in India to remove the brain tumor, which cost 2 million shillings. Wambui has tried to raise this sum from friends and neighbors but has not been successful. She is now urging well-wishers to intervene to enable Kamau undergo the procedure to live a normal life.
Wenye wananiangalia tu waone huruma tu za Mungu na macho ya Mungu waione, wanihurumie, waone venye niko kwa tumbo yangu iko na kitu. Mtoto anataka operation ya 2 million. Sasa mari mimi nimefika, ningeomba kwa uvumilivu, mtu anaona huruma anisaidie, tusaidiane ndio tuweze kusukuma.
Wishers can send their contribution to pay bill number 247247. Account number 907615. Further inquiries can be made through the boy's mother, John Wambui, on 0768907615.
A Gala goat breeding project introduced in Kiambere, Embu County is slowly transforming the lives of local farmers who have for years endured persistent drought. The goat breed improvement project was informed by a drought assessment that identified the ward as one of the worst hit areas, and as Ruth Wamboi reports, Kiambere farmers are reaping big from the Gala goat project.
Drought has been a major problem for some counties and residents. To avoid perennial losses of livestock and livelihoods, innovation is taking root in some areas. One such place is Kiambere, Embu County, where a special goat breed is helping farmers.
Normally, under good breeding program with normally twins, it's highly prolific, and an adult weight can be up to between 55 to 70 kgs, which fetches a lot in the market as opposed to the local goats.
Njeru says as a farmer, there is nothing more fulfilling than watching a herd grow.
Unaenda pengine unalipa school fees, unafanya kakitu kengine kara kame kusindia, zinatoa maziwa kuliko hizo zingine, na hata ukiziangalia hata mili ziko na afya kuliko hizo zingine.
Charles and Harriet says the training they received equipped them with skills needed to take care of the goats.
Mimi nikienda sokoni kutafuta mbuzi ya kununua, hiyo masomo ilinisaidia sana kwa sababu nitanunua mbuzi ile tulisoma. Iko na miguu mirefu.
Wanapenda hii ndume. Kwa hizo zizi yangu niko na kitu 20 goats na hizo zote ina serve.
The farmers' piece of advice to their colleagues in drought regions is to join self-help groups in order to benefit from similar projects. Ruth Wamboi for Legends Edition.
Lack of transparency in the management of political party registries has been identified as a big challenge to the party nominations. This results into poor dispute-solving mechanisms in political parties, especially during nominations. Political parties have been urged to embrace dialogue and negotiations to ensure individuals are not locked out of the nomination exercise and that the membership list is submitted on time. This story and other stories to follow.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is attributing lack of transparency in political party registry and knowledge gap as a hindrance in solving disputes that arise in political parties, especially during nominations. According to the Registrar of Political Parties, Anne Deritu, parties should observe discipline and inform its members on policies to be observed before conducting party primaries. IEBC has set 9th of April 2022 as the deadline for political parties membership submission.
Ensure that they have credible political parties registers in terms of membership lists, membership register of political parties, because they are supposed to use their membership registers.
Also, a section of the Mau Mau War veterans and elders from different communities have called for political tolerance during the electioneering period. Speaking in Nyandarua, the leaders, led by Kihiko Kibue, said politicians should desist from divisive utterances for the common good.
Kwa hivyo mtu akithubutu kusema ati tutakuwa na mkabila.
Communities living in Laikipia, Isiolo and Samburu counties have been urged to shun self-centered politicians who use divisive politics and violence to advance their agenda. Laikipia Deputy Governor John Mwaniki called for peaceful campaigns, saying the region cannot afford to sink deeper into conflict.
Bado tunapangilia kwenda kaunti ya Isiolo na kaunti ya Samburu kuendesha ama kuhubiri maneno ya amani.
6 counties in arid and semi-arid lands are set to benefit from 1.2 billion shillings water project to address the current water shortage in the region. Under the project that will run for 5 years, some 2,500 households will benefit. Lamu Governor Fahim Twaha says the program would address the current challenges facing the region thanks to the Danish government.
So the need for water will increase manifold, and we need to prepare for it instead of waiting until a crisis emerges.
And a family in Nyamira is seeking answers over death of 2 of its members in separate road accidents but almost at the same spot. The family believes their deaths are suspicious and could have been as a result of foul play.
We suspect there was the people behind it because after the accident, our brother Jared, it took a long time to be taken to hospital.
Irene Mchuma Odim, The Legends Edition.
Well, we take a short break, and of course, when we come back, Topi Liambila will be joining us with the sports of the day. I hear he's not in a very, very good mood today. I don't know, his football team didn't do very well, so bear with him, but he's here.
Nabonga na watoi kujua mambo za online, pia na create time wafanye vitu offline. Chungeni gadgets na sites wana use, msiwache strangers wapate chance kuabuse.
Nimeshindaje pesa kompe sija participate. Unadai info yangu na ikwe private say. Identity yangu haupati hautumi. Kitu zangu ni zangu na bado nitazishikilia.
Una post story ati ni real news. Mimi sikuamini mpaka nione sasa hizo vis. Una text online to me tunanifeel. Staki jokes mimi nitakureport for real.
Wazazi, watoi na maithu wetu. Don't be fooled. Get cyber smart and enjoy safe entertainment and education online.
The Communications Authority of Kenya. Mawasiliano kwetu, nguvu kwako.
It's a very big welcome to the Sports Roundup on the Legends Edition this Saturday evening. And I would just like to correct a notion that was spread earlier by my colleague, Catherine. I do not have any any supporting team with the Premiership. My team is Harambee Stars and FC Leopards. So, correction on that. Anyway, in our sports roundup tonight, we've got some highlights on hockey, Commonwealth Games, and something on chess qualifiers and the SJAK seminar. Now, 30 years ago or thereabouts, a group of hockey enthusiasts led by the late Tobias Oduor, formed the Kenya Ladies Hockey Association. And ever since, it has been an uphill task for the ladies. And they've climbed mountains, and they have won games, they have lost some. And this is why it's not a surprise that they have qualified this time for the Commonwealth Games. And that's our story that leads us tonight. I'm Topi Liambila. National women's hockey team has qualified for the upcoming Birmingham Commonwealth Games. International Hockey Federation, FIH, and the Commonwealth Games Federation, CGF, confirmed this via a letter to the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOCK.
The team, which recently took part in the African Cup of Nations that were held in Accra, Ghana, emerged bronze medalist. Qualification in hockey is based on FIH World Ranking, with the Kenya women's team ranked third in Africa, behind South Africa and Ghana.
We are now going to take it up from there, and I think they are very happy, the ladies themselves, and I think that will give them a reason to work even harder. And we are going to make sure that we support them in each and every way to improve and actually improve our ratings within the Commonwealth teams and International Hockey Federation teams.
Kenya now joins their counterparts, Ghana, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, the two nations having received reallocation slots that were not taken up by the top internationally ranked teams. They become the second Kenya women's team after basketball to book a ticket to the Games, in which Kenya will be appearing for the 17th time.
That's great news, of course, for the hockey scene, and we hope our ladies will have a great time in Birmingham, England. Well, over 100 chess players will represent Kiambu County in the National Chess Youth Championship slated for April this year. This was revealed during the county championship, which was held at the Kahuro Uhuru High School and was used to select the squad that will feature in the national contest. Moki with the details.
Close to 400 players stand up for the first edition of Kiambu County Chess Championship, which was geared towards selecting a team that will represent the region in the national championship.
Students are receiving it very, very well. We wanted to facilitate them with more chess boards for trainers or coaches deliver insights while players fulfill their foresight on the board.
Under 8, 10, 14, 16 and 18 categories were held, with players who accrued 2 points from 6 matches getting a ticket to represent the region in the national event.
Other reason I like playing chess is because it freshes the mind, gives you a better surrounding.
So far, my performance has been amazing since I've played 3 games and won 2 out of 3 games.
The level of competition is going up, and unlike in the past few years, this is attributed to the enhancement of technology in the country.
Chess has really grown, and as Kiambu County, we are very, very happy and proud to host this event.
The National Chess Youth Championship will be held this April. Frederick Muki for Legends Edition.
Now, sports journalists have been advised to avoid unnecessary stress while coping with the effects of COVID-19 in their workspaces. Gadhoni Mbogwa is clinical physiologist and head of digital relations at the Chiroma Hospital Group, called on scribes to embrace serenity, prayer, to be able to deal with challenges posed by domestic and work-related aspects of life. Gathoni was speaking during the two-day Sports Journalists Association Kenya SJAK Mental Wellness and Empowerment Seminar in Naivasha. Mwoki with the detail.
Gathoni called on the sports scribes to embrace health coping mechanisms which revolve around the 4 A's to avoid unnecessary stress, alter the situation, accept the situation, and indeed accept things that you can't change.
Probably what they experience in the day of a journalist within the sports, fraternity. But now what I've learned from them is that there are people who are going through various life situations, as opposed to what we're expecting just for the sports fraternity. What they're experiencing is being experienced by the larger community.
During the workshop, SJAK President Chris Mbaisi remarked that the mental wellness workshop is timely for the scribes, coming at a time when life is sort of coming back to normal after the deadly COVID period. The seminar is geared towards empowering the media with the requisite mental facet of coping with stress, hence improving productivity at work. Frederick Muki for Legends Edition.
Juliet Opondo from Siaya produced a stellar performance and beat Valentino Odhiambo as the 2022 National Novice Championships culminated at the Nairobi Charter Hall. Meanwhile, Jane Wangare beat Vivian Atieno in the ladies 50-kilogram category, while James Maenya emerged victorious against John Kaike. The championship has now paved way for the Africa Zone 3 Boxing Championships slated for March in Tanzania this year. Mwoki again with our report. Well, not very good news. Nigerian sprinter Blessing Okagbare has been banned for 10 years for multiple breaches of anti-doping rules by the Athletics Integrity Unit. The 33-year-old has been banned 5 years for the use of multiple prohibited substances and 5 for not cooperating with the investigation. Okagbare was suspended during the Tokyo Olympics after failing a drug test. Head of the Athletics Integrity Unit, Brett Clothier, said a 10-year ban was a strong message against attempts to cheat. Okagbare won a silver medal in the long jump at the 208 Olympics and has also won World Championships medals in the 200 meters and the long jump.
This will get replayed and replayed, I'm pretty.
And on the Olympic zone, New Zealand skier Nico Poteyos won gold in the men's freestyle skiing halfpipe at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing by taking care of business early, earning his top score on his first run and never looking back. Now in soccer, Newcastle continue the impressive resurgence under Eddie Howe with the valuable 1-0 draw at West Ham that edges them 5 points clear of English Premier League relegation zone. Howe's side are unbeaten in the league since the turn of the year, despite this result bringing their 3-game winning run to an end. And that's all we had for you from the Sports Roundup on this Legends edition this Saturday evening. We hope that you enjoyed the show and you'll be with us again. But now we take a break, and when we come back, it will be an interview with Fayaz Qureshi.
Linda familia na marafiki dhidi ya magonjwa.
The UHC coverage journey is on. NHIF is working under the guidance of the Ministry of Health in the UHC Step Up, which presents an opportunity to secure Kenyans access to quality health services without suffering financial hardship. So take the bold step today and safeguard your families by enrolling to NHIF to ensure health for all.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Aquila sana yele Mako. Naishi Namanga. Wakati wa games tukikaa tu hapo na wanafunzi wenzangu tukicheza, nikaanza kusikia vizuri. Nikamweleza mama. Sasa mama akaniambia mbona ukusemanga? Nikamwambia niliogopa. Nikaenda Namanga hospital nikapima, akaona ugonjwa niko nayo. Sasa akasema heri upelekwe Kajiado. Madaktari akakuja kunitibu. Akasema Manda akasema akaniambia utaenda kwa surgery. Walisema iko na growth. Nilienda kushughulikia hadi akaenda kutafuta NHIF juu mama tu anakuanga nayo, lakini ugonjwa mwenye nilitibiwa hiyo kadi ilinisaidia sana. Ndio kama tungekuwa nayo sijui tungetoka hapo lini. Ningependa kuambia serikali waendelee kutuletea hiyo kadi ya NHIF kwa maana inatusaidia sana. Kila mtu ajitahidi, ajikaze kisabuni ili waweze kudhibitisha na wao wapate hiyo NHIF. Ndio waweze na mtu akigonjeka juu siku yako kugonjeka na wao upate hiyo kadi, ndio ukipelekwa hospital uweze kutibiwa.
Linda familia na marafiki dhidi ya magonjwa.
Love, love, love.
Love is in the air.
It's celebrated in all forms worldwide. There is the Kenyan love.
It looks like it's Valentine's Day.
The children's love. The ladies' love.
I swear that I'm dying to feel myself in your arms.
The gentleman's love. Love that is comic.
No money, no light.
Dramatic.
Please don't do this to me. I have to talk to her.
Sporty. Breathtaking. Whatever your choice, let it rain this February with love.
This is getting better, and best.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome, I'm Fayaz Qureshi. Our guest on The Living Legends has been incarcerated twice for his stance on social justice. He has served as a member of parliament and is involved in charitable causes. 30 years ago, he was in the heart of the struggle for multi-party politics in Kenya. For a man who is a staunch Roman Catholic, he has had the pleasure of being granted an audience by the Pope. In his hometown, they refer to him as Mtumishi. We hear from former Runyenjes MP Jeru Kathango. Well, Kathango.
Thank you, Mom.
Welcome. It's an extreme pleasure and honor, a privilege to have you as a guest on The Living Legends.
Yes.
You are a true living legend. Welcome.
I'm not sure that I am a living legend. All I can say is I am one of the Kenyans that believe that heroes must be respected, thought of, and placed well in society. If that happens to me, I will be thanking God, because legends are also heroes.
Spot on. They should be appreciated. Appreciated across the board.
Across.
Welcome once again. Tell us about your early life in education.
Well, I started my life in 1958 in education, when I was admitted for what they called then the nursery school. in my village.
Right.
And I was attending the morning class for the nursery, and the priest in charge of my Catholic parish would and met me every afternoon for Standard 1 to practice what I would do maybe 2 years later. And in 1960, I was admitted for Standard 1. And since then to now, I'm still in school, because let me tell you, the academic classes I went through, the common entrance, I went through the CP, I went through the East African Certificate of Education, and later on in Form 6 and universities and colleges, is something that prepared me for life education that I pick on every day, at least a paragraph for my intellect. And
life itself is a school.
It's a school.
A complete learning experience.
Learning experience.
You never stop learning.
I have never stopped. I don't think I'm going to, although I think that every day brings me very closer to the end, and I will be prepared for it.
All ready for it, huh?
Yes.
Your first fallout with the state was in 1975, huh?
Yes.
You defied orders to suppress protests against the murder of J.M. Kariuki.
Yes.
And you got jailed for 5 years.
5 years.
Tell us that story.
I'm telling you. So one day, first of all, in 1974, I met J.M. Kariuki because I was involved in what we called the sport hunting. And sport hunting is that you get licensed by the Kenyan government to shoot animals, particularly if they exist in any national park, and reduce the numbers. But you don't just reduce. You actually reduce those numbers, have the animal and its items, and sell them. And so J.M. Kariuki was the Assistant Minister for Tourism. And at some point we met, and he said, look, if you are doing this, then I'll be interested maybe to have 1 or 2 items from you. Particularly if you are going this year or next year early, maybe I could have an elephant's tusk, 1 or 2, and give me, please, leopard skin. And I said, fine, sir, I'll try. That's how I met J.M. Kariuki.
Okay.
And we continued as friends as we were exchanging.
So that was the point where your friendship began.
Started, right? And so, by the time that we were coming to March of 1975,
right,
we had done quite a lot with JM. And in fact, during the preceding week, where JM was all over the place doing things, maybe saying bye-bye, whatever it is, I met him once or twice in February, about 24th, 25th, and 26th. And it is actually after that that we were told JM was missing. And that touched me a lot. Because one, this is a man we had done a few things together in Nanyuki, in the Budus and the fields of the animals.
Right.
And now that he has missed, I got interested. And getting interested, all over Nairobi and everywhere, people were saying that they have killed JM. Some of them didn't know. Some of them were sure that he's gone because he had been picked from Hilton Hotel. And I went to Hilton to ask what happened to my friend. And one of the people that we were always with for coffee said, that man was picked by one Ben Gedi. That is when my story started. And when I talked to Terry later, Terry is JM's wife, great woman, and she is still around here. And I would say, because of that, may every wife of JM and all their children continue to know that we remember you in our prayers, and may God bless you with strength. And therefore, personally, when it had been confirmed that JM is gone, then I decided that maybe, because JM is my friend, it is that I should be able to know why he was killed.
So you spoke out.
So, at the military level, I was an officer, and with the fellows that I associated with as officers like me, I told them that was not the government to support. And that is where my problem started. But then, sometimes around there, Jomo Kenyatta, the first president of the Republic of Kenya, and disappeared from the public because of the demonstrations that were taking place in Nairobi then. And we wanted to know, where did the president go to? And therefore, because of those demonstrations, the military council, security council, military pharaohs, from the bases, decided that they were going to look for Jomo Kenyatta so that they can bring him out to give the country confidence. And that is when they organized that they would bring Jomo Kenyatta to Kenya Cinema, at the heart of the city,
right,
at lunch hour on the 25th of March 1975, so that we can give him a salute and have the air salute, up here, with all the jets and so on and so forth, with the military cavalry and the military characters from Navy and from the Air Force marching across the streets of Kenyatta Avenue and what have you, to give Kenyatta the salute. I was going to be one of the platoon commanders to give that salute, and I said, because I know that we are doing this against the people, because of a friend of mine that was assassinated, I choose not to do it.
Of course, you were arrested after the Saba Saba events.
Yes.
That was with Edward Yugi, George Onyona, Professor Edward Yugi, Professor Ngotho Kariuki. You were detained, tortured,
yes,
charged with sedition and convicted.
Yes. In this manner. When Mwakenya started, I had personally gone to Britain, and I was there with Ngugi wa Thiong'o, 1983-84. But then 1986-87, that is when a lot of arrests were conducted. That time, some of us decided, no, let's go back home. And I moved from London, and I came to Nairobi. Established a small business on Moi Avenue, and it is in Moi Avenue where we started coordinating activities about the clamor for multi-party politics. Myself and John Janyona. So we established permanent office at Magezo Chambers and another office at Musa House next to Missing Lane Market. And so that's where we were coordinating the Sabasaba after Kenneth Matiba and Charles Rubia announced, prematurely though, although that is a story for another day, prematurely, but we decided that we should not cause disunity, and we coordinated it until they were arresting themselves on the 4th of July. And 1 week later, immediately after the Sabasaba, we were arrested on the 11th. And we joined them in committee and Naivasha.
You serve people through charity. Take us through this initiative that you started.
Good. In 1995. In 1995, I went to the Special Branch Kenya, who had confiscated my passport for a long time. And they agreed that now, Kathango, you are okay, we can give you your passport. 1 year before, and that is in Kamukonji. In Kamukonji on July 4th, Michuki, late Michuki, and James Orengo again had collected 73 signatures from members of parliament to start something called UDA. Kenyans, some of those that are young now, think that this UDA is a new UDA. It is not new order. UDA, United Democratic Alliance, was formed by Michuki and James Orengo in 1994, and it was launched in Kamukonji grounds on that date of July. And I was there. And I went there because I wanted to speak there And when I went there, Gerard Kopio was the master of ceremony, and the guest of honor was Kibaki, Wamalwa, Shikuku, and John Jindenge. Those four were there. And they spoke and they did not give Kathangu, this man Kathangu, opportunity to speak. And I thought, no, this thing has to stop, because we cannot behave like before. So I went up the rostrum, up the dais, and I said, man, I need to speak here. And Gerard Kopio said, no, you are not on the list. And I said, but the people are waiting for me to talk to them. Yes, the people are waiting for me to talk to them. And everybody in that thing started saying, Captain, Captain, Captain. So I took the microphone.
So you addressed them?
Yes. And when I'm addressing them, then these other guests of honors decided to leave. And I said, no, there is no problem. What we do now, because I have the microphone, can we have two good gentlemen to come up here and pray for the nation as we close the meeting? In the meantime, because we have seen that we still are discriminated upon, even by our friends, from now on, we shall form a movement that is going to look after the marginalized, the excluded, the needy, and some of those in this society that think they can do things but they have no opportunities.
So that's how it started?
That is how it started. And from the ground.
So has it grown from strength to strength?
Yes, it grew.
And it's helped a lot of people?
It has helped a lot of people, where we have been looking after needy children, orphans, all over the place. We have looked after children that are now serving even in the military, children that are now in medical schools, children that are, and I'm happy about it, great artisans and electricians. You know, that for me is beautiful, and that is why we are here to say that even if we don't do other things, maybe God can bless us because of the one and only one person. We have assistance from Gallows.
Your views on the current political arena and the forthcoming general elections, and you're also the Secretary General for Fordasili.
Yes, I first of all must say that I am here to represent a lot of people. Now that Qureshi invited me here, allow me to say that all the people that started the liberation movement in this country, I represent him here, because I cannot be able to walk away from them, and I don't think they can walk away from me, whether they are in the spirit form because they went before me, or physically in this country. And because of that, I hold the baton left by Kenneth Matiba, left by Shikuku, left by Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Masinde Muliro, and all the others. And because of them, I must say this, that Kenyans, you have finished exactly 30 years from the time that Ford was created, in December 1991. In 1992, the Ford split into Ford Kenya and Fordasili. And I am the Secretary General to this day of the party Fordasili that Martin Shikuku left. From Martin Shikuku, I became the Secretary General. And within this studio somewhere is the chairman of Fordasili, who came to witness what he said that I am saying. And because you've given me that opportunity, may I say that for what Ford was formed, we have not achieved. And because of that, what has happened is that there has been total reversal of what the intentions of the founders of Ford. And because of that, we are saying, please let us step low and slow, because what I have seen, there is intense conflict going on between the leaders and some of their supporters and followers. Nations cannot be built that way. The president has to turn down, the Ruto has to turn down, Raila has to tone down, because all of them have responsibility that more than 40 million people in this country are people below 35 years. And those 35 years and below are actually waiting for their blessings, guidance, and security.
And opportunities.
And opportunities. And because of that, we are all relying on them, and in fact, somebody like me, I assume that God the Father is actually guiding them. If they think it is not God the Father guiding them, they need to tone down. In the meantime, to say this, from 1983 to this day, there is no election I've not presented myself for election other than 88. And because of this, I am promising Kenyans, when all these forces cannot unite because Kenya is a beautiful country, can be created into a rose flower, then Fonda City and Jeru Kathango are going to give themselves to this nation as a candidate actually for the top seat, and that Fonda City will be still our party. We 30 years ago won the elections, and we want to say 30 years later, 2022, we shall be in the ballot.
I wish you all the best, and let's pray to the Almighty for a very, very bright future for Kenya.
Yes,
and a very peaceful election.
There is an organization that is working for the peaceful transition here called Public Affairs and Concerns Council, and very soon they are going to be announcing the programs to make Kenya peaceful. I want Kenyans to pray for us, and you too, Kureshi.
Will do so.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana.
Bwana Kathango.
Nashukuru sana.
It's been an extreme privilege.
Yes.
You're a very resilient man and a man of principles. It's great to have you as our guest on the Living Legends.
Thank you, sir.
Asante sana.
Nashukuru sana. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Asante sana. Good.
It has been an extreme pleasure speaking to the former Runyenjes MP, Jeru Kathango, on the Living Legends, a stalwart of charity, social justice and multi-party politics in Kenya. The message he passes is that Kenyans should reflect on the need for being just to each other at all spheres of life, and that different opinions are not hatred. Thank you, Mtumishi Kathango. I'm Fayaz Qureshi. Thank you for joining us.
It has been a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so very much for joining us on Living Legends. It's been a wonderful weekend. Well, enjoy the rest of it, and we pray for God's blessings to be with you and your household. Love you. Enjoy.
love.
Love is in the air.
It's celebrated in all phones worldwide. There is the Kenyan love.
Looks like it's Valentine's Day.
The children's love. The ladies' love.
I swear that I'm dying to feel myself in your arms.
The gentleman's love. Love that is comic. Dramatic.
Please don't do this to me. I have to talk to her.
Sporty. Breathtaking. Whatever your choice, let it rain this February with love.
This is getting better, better and best.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
I wasn't expecting this revelation, but it makes no difference to me. Because to me, you will always be the big brother I love.
Who gave you permission to put your things down? Excuse me? What do you want from me?
It's all your fault. You're a bad father.
What's wrong with you? Are you crazy?
If he dies, it's all your fault.
Would you like me to tell Mariella who killed her grandfather?
You can do whatever you want. I'm not afraid of you. Me and your Uncle Devian's hands are quite clean.
Are you sure?
Lying heart fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dudas.
Wiki hii kwenye mkulima tutazingatia ufugaji wa nguruwe na manufaa yake.
Kuna breed mingi za nguruwe, lakini zile breed zenye ziko za kawaida zinapatikana. Kuna large white, kuna ladres, kuna Duroc na kuna Berkshire. Lazima utafute yule nguruwe mwenye hajafanyiwa inbreeding.
Basi usikose kujiunga nasi Jumapili saa 9:30 kwa uhondo kamili hapa KBC Channel 1.
To Maureen and Paul, here's to wishing you a lovely new chapter in your lives. Cheers.
And may you flourish and have lots